5 straight winning days, a 12-6 run. Let's talk some more baseball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and we're back with another week of MLB baseball, baby. I hope you guys all had a great 4th of July weekend and are ready to get back to the grind with us. You heard it. We have won 5 straight days. That's awesome. 12-6 run, but I'm not happy. I want more because we still got to dig out of that hole we built ourselves a couple weeks ago. And also a side note, 5-1 in the last 6 WNBA bets, finally going on a run. If you ever look for those bets or want them, they're on X, they're on Discord, and also on the community tab of our YouTube page. So real quick, before we get anything, just a conversation between me and my wife. Does anybody else know that you can put a sprinkler underneath a trampoline and make it like a splash pad? We had so much fun today, and she made fun of me all day for never knowing that as a kid. Either way, if you're a parent or if you did it when you were a kid, let me know because that's pretty sweet and it was a creative idea. But anyways, before we get into all the baseball, and we got a smaller 7-game slate today, I do have to let you guys know OUTLIER is incredible, guys. This is an awesome app, and we have NFL right around the corner, and the amount of research help and stats you're going to get with OUTLIER, it's just going to be unbelievable. So the link is below in the description. Just go try out the free trial at the very least. It's pretty awesome. I mean, there's a reason why us handicappers in this industry use an app like OUTLIER. It's just a one-stop shop for all your betting research. It's very helpful. And we're going to have more info later in this video. And also throughout the week, we're going to show you kind of how we find certain props and certain bets, and it's going to be awesome. But anyways, go check out OUTLIER. It is in that description. So like I said, we got a smaller slate today, but let's get it rolling. And that means it's time for the baseball fun facts. So here we go. White Sox fans, cover your ears. The White Sox have been around for 116 years, and they have only won 3 playoff series in their franchise history. All 3 in the same year of 2005 when they won the World Series. That means, if I do my math right, 115 of the 116 years that you've been a White Sox fan, you've only had 1 year where you've even seen a playoff series win. That's insane. I mean, I'm sure there's not a lot of 116-year-old guys out there that have seen every single year, but still, that is rough. And that's coming from a Mariner fan as the only team who's never made a World Series. But anyways, that is the fun fact. So in this video, we are going to recap the weekend, won every single day, which is awesome. Smaller wins on some of them, but we'll take it. And then go over the good and bad hitter matchups. And then, of course, the good pitcher strikeout matchups, the entire pitcher report, and then the big game breakdown. That's right. We're going to get back to that. And then the best bets, and wrap it all up with those hitter parlay ideas and the bets recap. So hit that like button, leave a comment below. I have a goal. Let's see if we can hit 26,000 subscribers by the end of this week. That means every time you hit like, it helps this channel grow, and every time you comment, it helps it grow. So if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're going to have fun with MLB all summer long, and then we got NFL right around the corner. So exciting times ahead, but let's get this baseball journey started, and it starts with the recap. There it is, 3 winning days, and we start with Friday, a 2-2 day. But the beauty of the 2-2 days, we hit both 1-unit plays and lost both of the half-unit plays. The big game breakdown takes its first L. I was laying by the lake at my sister's house, and I was watching it. There was 2 outs left to go to win that under 4.5. It was tied 2-2, and Brian Reynolds hits a ball a freaking mile, and we lose the bet. And you know what? We couldn't win them all. 3-1 on the big game breakdowns. That one hurt. And then Saturday, 2-1. The only reason we didn't get a sweep is because Emerson freaking Hancock. I knew it was going to be his last batter in the 4th inning. He had 3 Ks. We had under 3.5 Ks. And then he strikes out Kevin Kiermaier on a foul tip, and he never came back in again for his 4th K. So lost on the last pitch of the game for him, but hit both Seager and the hit parlay. So nice 2-1 day there. And then Sunday, I kept it really light. I didn't have a ton of time. I had a half-unit bet and a quarter-unit bet. That's how light it was. And both walk props. And we won that Scooble under 1.5 walks bet extremely easily because he had 0. And then Kirby, like I mentioned, we're going to lose some of these, win some of these, but the odds were just too good to pass up. I put a quarter unit on it. He only had 1 walk, still a loss. Plus 155, though. We just took a little chance. So it was another winning day. Won almost 2 units on the weekend. I want even more than that, obviously. But like I mentioned before, guys, we were almost at minus 20 units at one point because of an 0-11 run and just some struggles. So anyways, we're going to continue to dig out of this hole. Hopefully we can keep that rolling this week. And that is the weekend bets recap. And now it's time for the good and bad hitter matchups. All right, we got 8 of them for you today on July 8th. And I got to just start out with the main one. I mean, upper right, just take a look. Mr. Byron Buxton. How about 7 for 9 with 5 extra base hits and 2 home runs versus Chris Flexen? That is just absolutely insane. Then over there on the left, the most at bats, the least at bats, we got Grichuk with 20, 6 for 20. Correa 5 for 16, also versus Flexen, so on and so on. So, anyways, those are the hitter matchups that we have for July 8th. And actually, sorry, I said 8. It's 7. Apparently, I can't count right. But now let's check out the bad hitter matchups, and this is huge, guys. We got all of one. Ketel Marte, 1 for 12 with 2 Ks versus the lefty Chris Sale. And that's it. That's all we got for the bad hitter matchups. So now let's go talk some arms. All right, with this small 7-game slate, we have no good pitcher strikeout matchups, unfortunately. But we do have to talk about one pitcher who strikes out a ton of players, just so you guys know. Mr. Chris Sale, the long, lanky lefty, going up against the Arizona Diamondbacks in Arizona. D-backs have the 9th lowest K rate versus lefties in the last 3 weeks at only 20%. And Sale, 127 Ks in 99.2 innings. He did start against Arizona on April 7th and had 6 strikeouts. And we all know how consistent Chris Sale has been this year. So that is the good pitcher strikeout matchups for today. And now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, here are the 7 matchups from Monday, July 8th. And we don't have a ton of great pitchers going today, but a decent little matchup there in Pittsburgh. Christian Scott, the rookie, going up against Mitch Keller of the Pirates. This is his second call-up for Mr. Christian Scott, like we've talked about before. Both around average K rates. Keller's been fine. 4 expected ERA, 3.5 ERA, been pretty decent, and always a little bit better at home as well. And then Mikolas, who's just absolutely struggled. And Mitchell Parker having a good rookie season as well. Gavin Williams making a second start. Not a great matchup there against Montero. 15 innings. I mean, not much to go off of at least. But the lefty, Andrew Abbott, just continues to impress me. 3.28 ERA. He doesn't miss a lot of bats, but he gets the job done. As you can see, 7.4 hits per 9 innings. Going up against Ryan Feltner of the Rockies, who gave up 10.7 hits per 9. And by the way, the Reds just swept the Yankees and then just got swept themselves right after. So just, it's baseball. It's what happens. But Chris Flexen, we all know he's just a blah pitcher, below average. No pitcher yet for the Twins. And then Davis Daniel, not much there with 13.1 innings against John Gray. And then Chris Sale and a rookie, Diaz, which we will talk about later. So if you're new to the channel, all the averages are on the bottom. Take a screenshot. Hopefully this is a good way to start your betting day just to know where to dive into. I've had some people reach out that they get some winners off the pitcher report, which is exactly what I was hoping for. So anyways, it's now time for the big game breakdown. All right, we are heading out to the desert where the Arizona Diamondbacks are hosting the Atlanta Braves. And before you make fun of this choice as the big game breakdown, there wasn't many options today, but I think we got a good game here. Braves moneyline minus 225, D-backs moneyline plus 185 with a total of 8.5 runs. So let's talk the spot real quick for these two teams. First game of a 7-game road trip for the Braves, traveling from Atlanta to Arizona here. D-backs coming off an absolutely wild series, a lot of runs scored, a lot of comebacks and all that against this division rival and the Padres. They won 2 of 3 games against the Padres, and before that, they won 2 of 3 games versus the Dodgers. So this will be their first game home back after that 6-game road trip against those division rivals. Can they now get up for a Braves team that, doesn't mean obviously as much as the Padres or Dodgers series, but the D-backs have won 3 straight series now, playing a little bit better, and the Braves 5-5 in their last 10. So slight advantage maybe to the Braves here. First game back at home has sometimes been a flat spot for some teams, especially when you're facing 2 big series like the Padres and Dodgers. But either way, it's not a reason to make a bet on a team or anything, in my opinion. But starting pitcher matchup. This is a unique one compared to what we've talked about because we have the proven veteran, possible future Hall of Famer, Chris Sale, versus a guy who has never started in the major leagues yet, and I think they pronounce it Yolber Diaz. Listen, I watch minor league videos for this info for you, and that's what I heard an announcer say, so we're going to go with it. But Chris Sale, he's been as good as it gets. It's been unbelievable, an incredible 32.7% K rate, under 5% walk rate. He's in the 91st percentile of all starting pitchers or better in ERA, WHIP, expected ERA, FIP, which is 100th percentile. Ks, walks, swinging strike percentage. It's just been absolutely unbelievable. He is now the second biggest favorite to win NL Cy Young at plus 250 on DraftKings behind Mr. Zach Wheeler at plus 200. So home and away splits, dead even. 2.72 ERA home, 2.70 ERA on the road, nothing there. Righty-lefty splits, well, when you're this good, you don't give up a lot of hits to anybody. But 180 average and 328 slugging to lefties. 203 average and 306 slugging to righties. So a bit higher average, but less slugging to the right-handers. But not much to tell. Other than that, he's freaking good. That's it. He did have the worst month of the season in June. If you look at those numbers, he had a 4.5 ERA in June after having a 0.56 ERA in May. But that was really because of one bad start. And it's really like his only bad start of the season versus the A's. He gave up 8 earned runs in that game. And in fact, the only 2 times that he's even given up more than 3 earned runs in a start versus the A's and the Marlins. Go figure, hash brown baseball. He faced Arizona earlier this year. Like we mentioned earlier, 5.1 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 earned runs in Atlanta, 6 Ks, and 0 walks. So that's Mr. Chris Sale. Now let's talk about this guy, Yober Diaz, and I may give you more info than anyone else out there because it's the big game breakdown. I just have to. Major League Baseball debut. That's what he is. So let's talk about him. 23-year-old who is the D-backs number 16 ranked prospect in 4 starts with the Reno Aces. 3.27 ERA, 28 Ks, and 22 innings. Between AA and AAA, though, he has a 33.2% K rate. He is a strikeout pitcher. Doesn't mean he's a strikeout pitcher in the majors, but he has been in the minors. He had a 13 strikeout game to tie the Aces single game strikeout record. You can only find that useless information here. That's it. But he is averaging just over 5 innings per start. He throws mid to upper 90s fastballs along with a hard slider and curveball. I was impressed with some of his pitches when I watched some highlights and videos of him. But he does only have like a 3-pitch mix that's really going to help. And most scouts and everything think he's a good pitcher, but they see his future being more in possibly the bullpen because he doesn't have 4 or 5 great pitches. But either way, he is a starter right now. So the offense for the Braves now, it has been a struggle for them this season. The last 2 weeks versus righties, 28 WRC plus, 29th in slugging, 3rd highest K rate, 28.1%. As you guys know, no Ronald Acuna, still no Michael Harris, but they have scored 5 or more runs in all 3 games versus the Phillies in that last series over the weekend. It's not a terrible matchup for Mr. Diaz for his first start. It's weird to say that because it's going up against the Braves, but they just have not hit the ball well. D-backs, last 5 games, scorching hot. They have scored 12, 9, 8, 7, and 9. They are averaging 9 runs per game in the last 5, and that was versus the Dodgers and the Padres. So last 30 days now versus lefties, because obviously Chris Sale is a lefty. 11th best WRC plus, 13th best slugging, 3rd best on base percentage, which is impressive. And 12th highest K rates, which is surprising. They're lower versus righties, but lefties, they've struck out a little bit more. Now let's talk to bullpens. Braves, the number 1 bullpen ERA in the last 30 days. You probably didn't know that. I did not know that. 2.22 ERA in the last 30 days with a 2.73 Sierra. You guys that follow and do our bullpen days, you know what that is. But that's number 1 as well. So on Sunday, they used Dylan Lee, 19 pitches. Pierce Johnson, 14. Aaron Bummer, 15 pitches. What a terrible last name. But these 3 all did not throw the day before that. So, you can maybe see them throw on a back-to-back day, maybe available on Saturday through AJ Minter, Jimenez, and Iglesias. But in that game, no one threw more than 16 pitches. I think Atlanta's in pretty good shape here on the bullpens. D-backs, the exact opposite. So if you're looking for an advantage, the Atlanta Braves has a huge advantage of the bullpen. 29th in bullpen ERA the last 30 days, Arizona, with a 5.13 ERA. A 4.26 Sierra predictive stat for the bullpen. That is the 3rd worst as well. This is pretty much a battle of the best and the worst bullpens in the league right now in the last 30 days. Bryce Jarvis may be the only arm for the D-backs not available. He threw 22 pitches on Sunday. I don't think Bryce Jarvis is a big deal, to be honest with you. But they did throw 6 guys on Saturday. Ginkel, I think is how you pronounce it. 25 pitches. Mantiply, 19 pitches. Jarvis, 19. So he threw 2 days in a row. Ryan Thompson, 15. I would assume that those guys should all be available, other than Jarvis, like I mentioned, after a day off and all that. So that's kind of the bullpens and how they've done lately and what arms they've thrown. Now, some player props to consider. Maybe Christian Walker. This man has been scorching hot. We're talking 407 in the last 7 days. He hits better versus lefties, 286 average. He's facing Chris Sale, so it's not going to be easy, obviously. But I do want to mention, he's just been scorching hot. So maybe a Yober Diaz over K prop. The line has not been dropped. He's a rookie. I don't think the books know where to drop it. But again, he's facing the 3rd highest strikeout team. But, some rookies have come in and struck out a lot because the hitters don't know him, and some have just completely struggled. So this is going to be a risk betting on a rookie, just to let you know. But it's something to consider because he did have a good strikeout rate, and he does have a good matchup here. So for the best bet, which some of you guys have waited for during this whole mumbo jumbo of a big game breakdown, for the first time in our big game breakdowns, I do not have a best bet right now. Maybe I'll have one in the morning on this game, maybe not. But not many lines have dropped, other than obviously money line and Braves are huge favorites and all that. But not a lot of pitcher props right now, not a lot of batter props. If I had to lean aside, I'd probably lean Braves -1.5 and over. But a guy making his MLB debut is always a wild card, and it makes it really tough to handicap. So that's what I got for you right now on that big game breakdown. Hopefully, you guys can get some winners based on the info I did give you. Yeah, that is the Braves and Diamondbacks. And now let's talk some more best bets. Bet number one takes us out to Cincinnati, where the Reds host the Colorado Rockies. Reds on the money line -192, Rockies on the money line +160, with a total of 9.5 runs. My best bet in this game, it's a player prop. Give me Andrew Abbott under 2.5 earned runs at +105 on Bet365. Now, to talk about why I like this bet, let's go check out Outlier, and we're going to go look through it, and you're going to find out why I like this pretty quick. So here's what we're doing. We're on Insights right now. Let's go over to the left side. You click on Props, and then we go to the player's name, and we are going to search Mr. Andrew Abbott. That's right. And so you put in Andrew in there. He's going to pop up, and we hit apply, and then you're going to see all his props right there. And on the right side, you're going to see last 5, last 10, 2024, and all the hit rates and everything. We're going to click on that under 2.5 runs, and if you scroll down, the last 10 have been solid. We're talking 7 of 10. If you want to see how he's done in 2024, you just scroll back up a little bit, and you go to 2024 numbers. And there we are, guys. We're talking a 76% hit rate. 13 of 17 starts. It's been impressive. Now, if you want to just see how he's done in 2024 at home, let's go to that. Now, you go there. You can toggle over to home games. I mean, this is fantastic, guys. Now you can see he's done this in 6 of 7. An 86% hit rate, under 2.5 earned runs at home is just absolutely crazy. To get plus money for this, the value's too much right now. So if you go over to the right, you can also see some batter stats for the Colorado Rockies. And you can click on that button right underneath batter stats versus left-handed pitcher and see how they're doing. And they got a few decent hitters. Again, those numbers are skewed by Coors Field. But what they don't have a ton of guys doing is hitting home runs off of lefties, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But also, underneath those bars that you see, if we scroll down a little bit, you can see some rankings. So right there, as you can see, Colorado batting versus left-handed pitching. In the last 30 days, guys, 24th WRC+, 24th on-base percentage. It just has not been pretty for them. So, I love this matchup. And again, Outlier just shows absolutely everything you need. So I just love it. But, the big worry here that I have for Andrew Abbott is that he gives up a lot of home runs. I mean, he's given up 16 this season. 14 of those 16 are to righties, by the way. So just want to let you know the Colorado's leading home run hitter is a lefty, Mr. Ryan McMahon. Now, Doyle is a guy who has been hitting some bombs. He has 11 home runs. Guess how many are off lefties? Only one of them. That's right. So, as long as he can keep the ball in the ballpark, I think this is a very sluggish spot for the Rockies. If you watch the Rockies games or teams leaving Coors Field, that first game right after, it is a tough time to hit. You're trying to adjust from elevation to no elevation. Usually you want that day off to kind of adjust. So I've seen the Rockies many times leave Coors Field and take a game or two to really get going a little bit. So I think in a sluggish spot, we have humongous hit rates here. Andrew Abbott is great at home. He's been a solid pitcher. And you know what? The Rockies strike out a ton. Like we've talked about before, they are the top 3 highest strikeout team versus lefties. And so Andrew Abbott could have one of those games. He's not a guy who strikes out a lot in general, but if he has one of those games where he gets 8 to 10 Ks like we saw versus the Red Sox, then that only helps even more. So give me Andrew Abbott to give up 2 or less earned runs for the 14th time in 18 games. I'm going to play that for a half unit. And now let's check out bet number 2. All right, this second one takes us out to Los Angeles, where the Angels host the Texas Rangers. Rangers on the money line -142, Angels on the money line +120, with a total of 8.5 runs. Now, both these bets that I'm making today are half unit plays. Why? Because I just don't really love the slate. Let's be honest, it's just not a very good slate. 7 games on the docket, and I don't want to force anything. I think finding my spots, and maybe I have a 1 unit play in the morning. I'll probably more than likely have at least one more added play though. But I just want to let you guys know where I'm at. Lately we've been trying to find our spots and it's been working, so let's just go there. But it doesn't mean I don't like these 2 bets, and this second one I really do like. Give me the man with 2 last names. Davis Daniel over 5.5 hits allowed at -130 on Bet365. This is just straight from me, my gut, my opinion. You guys can disagree, it's fine. Davis Daniel is not a good pitcher. He just isn't. He faced two terrible. First of all, if you don't know who he is, he's only made 2 major league starts. That's right. He faced the Detroit Tigers and threw an absolute gem against the Detroit minor league Tigers. I think it was 8 innings. It was just the Tigers couldn't do anything. And then he faced the Oakland A's, and he gave up 7 hits and 4 earned runs to the Oakland A's. And by the way, the Oakland A's, they've been crushing lefties lately, but not righties. They suck against righties. And so Davis Daniel got hit up a little bit. I don't know why I'm thinking of Andrew Abbott again, but since he only has 2 starts in the major leagues, I wanted to do some digging. And I've told you guys this before because I actually faded him against that Tigers when we lost. This guy was not a good pitcher in the minor leagues. He had a 5.33 ERA in the minors. I looked at all 14 minor league starts that he had this year. He gave up 6 or more hits in 10 of 14 games, guys. The hit rate in the minors was insane. And now before the first start versus Detroit, he had actually given up 6+ hits in 5 straight games. So, I mean, 5 straight games in AAA, 10 of 14 of 6+ hits. And now he's in the majors, and he has 1 good start against the Detroit Tigers, and they dropped this line at 5.5. It's too low. It's just my opinion. So he's going to be going up against the defending World Series champs. I understand that the Rangers, you guys might be rolling your eyes. The Rangers have not been a great offense this year. I understand that. They still have proven guys that they just won a World Series with. But the Texas Rangers have the 12th highest batting average versus righties in the last 2 weeks. Okay, batting average is huge. We just need hits. So they've hit in 248. They're an above average hitting team right now when it comes to batting average versus righties. And the one thing the Rangers lack is power. They have literally no power versus righties. If you look at slugging, ISO power, all the OPS, all those stats, I don't care at all about power in this one because I just need 6 hits. Give me 6 blue pits. I don't even care. But Rangers have 6+ hits now versus 6 of the last 10 righty starters, including Dylan Cease, Zach Littell, Corbin Burns. You ever heard of him? I just need 6 freaking hits versus a pitcher who does it all the time in the minor leagues. I think this line is too low. I thought this line should start at 6.5. I haven't been doing hits allowed props very often, and I don't want to really do over earned runs because I saw his over 2.5 earned runs line, and it's heavily juiced at -150. And I just need hits. And sometimes the Texas Rangers can get hits, but can't get the big hit and score runs. So I'm just going to go with the hits allowed. Give me Davis Daniel over 5.5 hits at -130 for a half unit as my second best bet. And like I said, small slate, so just 2 bets, but we're not going to end it there. Let's talk hitter parlay ideas now. So the first one, Jose Miranda of the Twins. If you don't know already, if you're living under a rock, he did something that no MLB player has done since 1952. He recorded a hit in 12 consecutive at-bats. Absolutely insane. He is now hitting just a decent 700 in the last 7 days. That's not legal. It's legal in maybe 2 states. You cannot hit 707 last 7 days in the majors. He's hitting a ridiculous 362 versus righties, 339 on the road. He's just been unbelievable, and he might get decent value still. I don't know. He's been on a roll. Byron Buxton. Let's just keep going with the Twins. I mean, 2+ hits in 3 straight games. 2+ hits in 7 of the last 11. He is a silly 7 for 9. He was the best hitter-batter matchup. Hitter-batter. I don't even know what that is. A hitter-pitcher matchup of the day. 7 for 9 versus Chris Flexen. He's just another hot Twins hitter. This Twins offense is ridiculous right now. And then the third one, Jonah Heim of the Texas Ranger. He's facing my boy Davis Daniel. We just talked about him. Heim is hitting 429 the last 7 days. 1+ hit in 9 of his last 12. This is one of those sneaky ones where you could get good odds on him because he's hitting like 240 this season. Obviously, Corey Seager would probably be a better bet. His odds are going to be higher. I'm just trying to give you some different ideas and maybe under the radar guys as well. So I like Heim. I also like Jesse Winker, the lefty. Everything matches up here. He's great history against Miles Mikolas. 5 for 13 off him with 2 home runs, as you guys saw earlier. Also happens to be hitting 421 the last 7 days. And he hits really well at home. How about a 351 average at home compared to 231 on the road? He will be home in this one. I like him to stay hot. So those are just 4 of my hitter parlay ideas, along with my 2 best bets. All the research help you need for Monday. And now let's check out the recap. There it is, Mr. Andrew Abbott, under 2.5 earned runs at +105 on Bet365. Love the value on that one with plus money. And then Davis Daniel over 5.5 hits allowed at -130 on Bet365. Another half unit play. Again, I'm not going to force too many 1-unit bets today. It is a rough slate. So any added plays will be in the pinned comments on Discord and on X. Again, Discord is free. Go click that link below and come join the community. We talk sports every day. We have a lot of fun doing it. We stay positive. We help each other out. So come join that fun community. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Let's keep this hot streak going. Let's start out hot this week. Leave your best bet in the comments below. And yeah, hope you have a great Monday, and we'll talk to you soon.